Three, two, one, 1, 2, 3. We're doing the sound check and everything else that is obnoxious because I click go live and there's a delay and then it doesn't actually start. And what else might go wrong? Here we go. There we go. Welcome to 23 June, 14 June 2023. I apologize for the sunglasses today. These aren't actually sunglasses. These are transitions. And they're stuck in dark mode. Because apparently if you leave transitions glasses in sunlight for a couple days, they get dark and they stay there forever. And I don't have the money to replace them right now. Hi, Ozzy. Sounds rough. You might want to consider just think about this. Walk or get a bicycle. I am going to change my display name. Edit name. There we go. There we go. They're not sunglasses. All right. StreamYard is telling me I have 3 people viewing, and I only know of one. There we go. There we go. One of my lurkers finally decided to show up. No, Sam. I can barely see with these things on. All right. The first topic. Normally, I have to check the description to know what my topics are. Today, I will not have to. And this is not going to be fun, folks. Doxxing is the act of revealing personal information about someone. Just go with that word for a moment. To a third party or to somebody who doesn't have that information. Sometimes people dox themselves. For example, if you know what video to look for or you know who to ask, you could actually get my real name. It's used in one of my videos from back in the Pornhub days. Yeah, it goes back a bit. I doxed myself there. Okay, I did that to myself. However, taking information that you obtain, especially confidentially, about somebody else, and giving it to a third party is, first of all, is immoral. You shouldn't be doing that. You should never be breaking a confidence. Let me tell you how serious I take this. For those of you that know Libs of TikTok's real name now, I will never, ever say her name unless she runs for office. I am so disgusted by the fact that a Twitter employee stole personal information and then gave it to a reporter who then turned around and put it out for everybody. That both of them belong in prison, first of all. Both of them belong in prison. That was confidential information. They didn't have a right to even look at without a warrant or something. And second of all, it was such an absolute shock that when I first heard it, I thought, gee, that sounds like a woman's name. That would be a kind of a Is that a Jewish woman's name? Nah. Well, yeah, actually, Lot is a Jewish woman. That was kind of a shocking development to me. I have done everything I can to try to forget that name. And unfortunately, I will be able to remember her first name for a very long time to come. I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. And I kind of hope she's out watching the stream. All right, I found Exiled Lioness. Let me rephrase it. Angel found Exiled Lioness because I had been doing I had taken an interest in walkaway movement. So I had been searching through YouTube for walkaway videos. Because at the time, me and Fixed Bayonets me and Brent really had a unified channel. We hadn't split into two different channels yet. That would actually happen much later. Every time Fix or Angel or Brent would log on to YouTube, they'd think YouTube was talking to me personally. So they assumed the two were connected. At the time, Exiled had a video, My Walkway Story and My Walkway Story Part 2. And believe it or not, I've never actually seen the original Walkway Story. I only seen Part 2. Angel found that and another one about it being safer to wear a hijab than a MAGA cover. And, well, Angel's kind of a funny person, so she instantly fell in love with this perfect girl. Right? For those of you that know the joke about me and Fixed Bayonets adopting her, well, no, it started with Angel adopting her as her sister. Oh. I'm really feeling you right now, Ozzy. All right. So that's an interesting story. Who gives a shit? Well, who gives a shit is Angel pushed me to subscribe to this channel. Oh, okay, fine. I'll do it. Just shut up. So YouTube recommended another channel. That channel has since been renamed Desert Rogue. And okay, good. Because that channel was originally in her Exiled's real maiden name. I took caution to try to not remember that, and I mostly succeeded, right? You can't torture the information out of me, and that's why I don't like knowing personal information about people. I can't accidentally tell anybody, hey, yes, I know the well, nobody's perfect. Sam is saying EL, Exile Linus, ain't perfect. Well, nobody's perfect. But I know what he's talking about. And unfortunately, you try telling Angel that. Moving right along. Because I know I don't know. I'm going to pick on Sam. He's here right now. Here's one thing I do know. Samuel is not his real first name. Here's the other thing I know. I don't know his real name. So we are going to refer to Samuel as Sam Famas. Famas. Foxtrot Alpha Mike Alpha Sierra, because that is a real name. Yeah, it's a gun company in it's not China. It's France. FAMAS is a gun company in France, so that's a good safe name. Oh, shit. All right. I am pretending to know Sam's real name. I could accidentally leak that information. Damn it. Struggling with wearing the glasses and not wearing glasses is just as bad either way right now. I could accidentally leak that information because I know it. That's why I don't like knowing anything I don't have to know. That's also why I stayed off of the channel that is now Desert Rogue. For those of you familiar with Ghost Tactical's channel, his real name isn't even a secret, but I don't repeat it because I don't want to know, because I could accidentally repeat it. And now I can't be tortured to reveal Sam's real name. You can torture me all day and night. I'll lie to you. I'll make some shit up, some crazy shit up. His name is Sam Famous. Tomas. I can't pronounce it. That's it. And I sure as hell wouldn't reveal that information, especially to a third party. People that do that are universally bad people. All right. If information is given to you in confidence, you keep it that way. Unless it is relevant and necessary to break the confidence, you keep that confidence. There are secrets that I know that I will take to my grave because they were given to me in confidence, even though one of them in particular that I'm thinking of related to a handgun that's out on the common market right now. That information was originally given to me in confidence. It's out there on the internet. I've found it. I knew exactly the keywords to look for. Okay, I see it. I know I don't have to keep the secret. I don't have to keep the secret anymore. I also don't have to hand it out. I don't have to tell you guys that a Ruger 1022 will work with center fire 22s, which isn't a thing, by the way. I don't have to give you that information. So I'm not going to give you that information. Okay. It's one thing if somebody's life is at stake, but then I'll give you the information if I absolutely have to. The idea of giving this information out, and I'm thinking of something in particular. A member of one of the online communities is in deep shit with everybody, myself included. This individual gave me, as far as I know, me first, personal information about a third party. Information I did not ask for, I did not need, and I really don't want. He was asking me for help dealing with a situation that did not need to be dealt with. Right? The subject was closed, and he wanted me to deal with it anyway, and I told him there was nothing I could do. He kept pressing me about that, and apparently he reached out to 4 or 5 other people with that same information. That's not good. And if I understand correctly, he then went public with that information. I think that's Luke. Hey, Luke, somebody got some sun. Oh, wow. I work inside too. How the hell did I get in this that much sun? Huh. Having knowledge of buildings, equipment, operations, which I am fairly sure would be used for bad things if used by bad people, I intend to take said information to my grave. He's not wrong, people. It's not actually a secret, so I can give you some clue. And it's not related to the other thing, the handgun that I just mentioned. Hold up, I think I know what that was. I think that was me being told to shut the fuck up. Or at least watch what I'm saying. Yeah. That was me being told to watch what I say by Fixed Bayonets, of all people. All right. And yes, Boomer, I do know how to not cross the line. Jesus Christ, woman. All right. That was not my information to receive. That was not his information to give out. Don't do it! How hard is that to understand? Is anybody here unclear? You get information in confidence, you keep it in confidence unless you have to give it out for some reason. This individual has, at least for a little while, been banned from YouTube and Facebook pages, with the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. I'm hopefully going to talk to him separately and see if this can be resolved. I don't think it can. I really don't. I know you're watching. I don't care. Hopefully this can be resolved later. We'll see. All right. Give me a second, folks. You would never make a decent spy there, Oz. You'd make the worst spy that ever lived. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. Cancel. Here we go. Work it. Yeah. Well, I don't tan, I burn. Oops. I don't tan, I burn. Also, the situation that's been developing is the reason why the chat is not in the stream like I normally do. Yeah, I don't want a scene occurring here. I do not want a scene. If you are given information and confidence, you keep it to yourself. You do not give it to anybody else unless somebody's life is in danger. On a related note, If somebody unfriends you or stops talking to you or whatever, just accept that it is what it is. You may not know why. You may never find out why. I not only had to unfriend somebody, but he's about 2 seconds away from being blocked on Facebook and Discord because he's rude, abusive, and obnoxious. He's an asshole. You can't get through a single conversation without yelling at people. If that is you, you need to think about yourself and your life. Or just shut the fuck up in general. If your only way of winning an argument is by sitting there and berating people, you are the problem in your life. You need to deal with that. All right. So for 20 minutes, I've been on this subject. How else do I put this? Don't give out personal or private information. It's that simple. Don't stab your friends in the back. Oh, excuse me. Right. Do I have to belabor this subject anymore? Because I do want to get on to the thing that I wanted to talk about today, which is why Gavin's 28th Amendment talk should be taken very, very seriously. Now, I know most people are saying, oh, it's got no chance. There's no chance in hell that it'll pass. And you'd think they'd be right. 25 states with constitutional carry, or versions of constitutional carry. Excuse me. Means he can't get the 38 state threshold, right? Wrong. You're dead wrong. You're not even close to right. Let me tell you about Dataslav. First of all, in here, I'm going to put it up on the screen for you so you can see how it's spelled. Jay, thanks. Banners. Create a banner. Okay. That is how you spell Dataslav. Everybody good so far? Okay. Oops. I meant to edit that. And show. Does that look familiar, people? Dataslav is Volstead backwards. Volstead was the enabling act for prohibition. Curious little detail, right? Let me tell you how the 13th, not 13th. Because when I sounded it out, it came out Dataslav. Moving right along. Let me tell you how prohibition in the United States came about. Carrie Nation and her friends moved. First of all, the United States, I think, was 36 states at the time. Well, 2/3 of 36 is 12, 24. Carrie Nation and her followers literally moved from state to state until they could get the 24 states that they needed to ratify the 18th Amendments. 18th Amendments. No, not the 18th. Somebody in the chat correct me. And don't feel bad about being a little bit on the rude side. But either way, until they could get prohibition passed. Then a senator by the name of Volstead put a bill before Congress to say, okay, this is how we're going to enforce this prohibition on alcoholic spirits in the United States. It took them 6 years of moving from state, was it 6 or 8 years? You know what, I'm going to go with 6 because it's a smaller timeline. It took them 6 years of moving from state to state to get this thing passed. They were more than ready, willing, and able to move as far and wide and often as they had to. And Carrie Nation did not have infinitely deep pockets like Gavin and his masters do. They have really, really ridiculously deep pockets. They will be able, when it comes time, to pay for people to move from Florida to Virginia to Texas to was it Montana that just passed constitutional carry? I think it was. They're more than happy to move people around, and they have no timeline to work from. They can actually, let me rephrase that. They can take as long as the money lasts. I remember when I was in junior high school, there was an amendment being fought for, the Equal Rights Amendment, which said that everybody would be treated exactly the same, to the very exact limitation of some age-restricted things. You know, you can't vote until you're 18. At 65, you can retire. Blah blah blah. All those blah blah blahs. Other than that, you would be treated exactly the same no matter what. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clear that banner out. Hide that. Okay. Or some version of their Aussie. Florida is still not passed concealed carry. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. Hey, Warsaw. Florida has still not passed concealed carry. That's a curious detail. Thank you very much. I did not know that. Oof. I fell behind on the chat, so give me a second. Okay. That's a curious connection. A Christian recommended a Muslim. Nice. Government programs. No, Ozzy, it was not a government program. It was completely privately funded. Sorry, Warsaw, I did not see you come in at first. I'm hoping to get to that. That's the People's Party of Canada, correct? I stand. I stand corrected. And Warsaw is pointing out only a few countries have a Second Amendment or equivalent in their country. It used to be Brazil, Poland, Czech Republic, Ukraine, Lithuania, Estonia, Italy. Okay, some of these names are a surprise to me. Lithuania, Estonia, Ukraine, Czech Republic, I think did. Poland does, and Brazil. Brazil's got with repealed. Squatch, check your email or Discord or both. I don't give a fuck. And very much yes. Really, really need to talk to you. Oh, Warsaw, Squatch. I'm not wearing sunglasses. They're transitions and they're stuck in the dark mode because I left them in Papa Carey's truck for 2 weeks. And actually, this I do know to be correct. Warsaw Patriot. I know Sweden has gun rates too. All right. Getting back on topic here. Shit. Gavin's 28th Amendment threat should not be ignored because they will have pockets more than deep enough that they will move people around until they can get this 28th Amendment passed. Now, New York, New Jersey, Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Rhode Island. No. Yeah, and Rhode Island. So 7 states are kind of in the bag, right? Don't even bother trying to save those. That's 7 of the 38 needed to pass a constitutional amendment. That means a very long uphill challenge, right? But they don't have a time limit. Technically there is no time limit. You just got to get 34 states to ratify it. Oh. Wow. Sorry, guys. A little bit of a brain fart there. They have those deep pockets. They can pay for people to be moved, to set up new businesses. They have to this, to that, to everything else needed to get that done. Like I said, it was done to get prohibition passed. It will be done again someday. And this might just be the day that they start that process. So for those of you saying 28th Amendment doesn't have a chance of passing, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I want to point something else out. It took 1 year to get prohibition repealed because it was so unpopular that it failed in 2 states. It only failed in 2 states, one of which, because it had actually passed, the repeal of prohibition had actually passed, so it didn't matter now. They just sort of said, yeah, forget about it. We're not going to worry about it anymore. I clearly missed something here, guys. Give me a second. How are you? What banana? After the fall of the Iron Curtain, I could see a restructuring in some former Soviet states to include a Second Amendment equivalent. Many countries have certain rights to firearms, mostly, but not too many has a right to keep and bear. Sweden is the one that comes to mind. You don't actually have a right to keep and bear. You have a right to own. That's like you have a right to buy a car, but you don't necessarily have a right to drive it. Warsaw, I think you've been missing my entire point. He will make it work. And we don't stand on spelling and grammar around here. If I can understand what you meant, good enough. Roger, I will hang out a few extra minutes if I have to. Okay. Oh, Ozzy had a question for Squatch, so I'm going to go up. Oh! Squatch, how are you liking the banana? What banana? Please tell Ozzy, because he wants to know how you're liking the banana. What banana? Last time I checked, in order for an amendment to pass, it needed 34 states. Thank you, Warsaw. 34. Sorry, folks. I'm not good at math. I was a bosun's mate, and I suck at math. It's a thing. Sorry. All right. I have to beat this horse beyond dead. Beat this horse down into glue. Dismissing Gavin's 28th Amendment speech talk, is absolutely dangerous. Once that amendment passes, it will never unpass. It would literally, even if there were bodies in the streets, they would still say, we didn't amend hard enough. We didn't regulate hard enough. We didn't this. And ask me how I know. Squatch, Boa, how is it I might know that the excuses that they will give is, we didn't regulate hard enough. We didn't enforce hard enough. We didn't think outside the box enough. I'm leaning in to read the chat because I can't really use my glasses. $1 says Squatch just answered the question. I burped some nasty out today. It's now running like a Ferrari. Well, I lost the bet. Okay, actually, Warsaw Patriot should know the answer to that question too. Here's a clue: 1999. Damn it. Pro tip: don't leave your glasses at your dad's place. Don't leave your glasses at your dad's house. Especially when he lives 3 hours away. All right. Warsaw is fighting me. If that even becomes a reality, Carrie, that would make America's Constitution equal to Russian Duma. Complete contradiction and tyranny. And yet there we are. and this time it will work for sure, is Ozzy. He's not shit posting me. He's not. He's being sardonic, and unfortunately, he's right. God damn it, you two. And Squatch is dodging the answer as well. All right, folks, here's the answer. Because Squatch and Boa are letting me down now. I used to be a gun control supporter. That's how I know. I learned my lesson. What was it? Last part of June 1999 with the Columbine High School massacre. That's the day I learned, wait a second, everything that they told us, everything that they promised us was wrong. That's the day that gun control supporter Kerry died. He was dead of natural causes being the truth. The truth being that body count that I watched on, I think it was CNN, live, with a big banner in one of the windows saying, dying in here, written in blood. That's how I know. The first thing they will do, the moment that this 28th Amendment passes and something goes wrong, we didn't regulate hard enough. We didn't plan hard enough. We didn't think of this. We didn't think of that. Because I had already played that mental exercise over the course of the previous 99. I graduated in 94. Let's say 6 years. Over the course of the previous 6 years, I had played this mental exercise. Well, okay. See, I was never really a gun control supporter. I understood if it's passing, if it's going to be law, okay, I'm willing to see where this goes. I remember I'm standing just outside the old vice principal, the old principal's office and school office at Shasta High School. All right. Big, partially enclosed area where students used to hang out and eat at lunch. I assume they still do. Looking at the double doors into the office and thinking, oh, well, it'll be one hell of an experiment. I might even have said it out loud. Well, it's going to be one hell of an experiment. We're going to find out. Well, son of a bitch, we found out, didn't we? It didn't work. It blew up in our face. And it almost literally blew up. But for the grace of God, those bombs didn't work. Oh, yes. Warsaw Patriot actually told me how he changed his views. How do I put this without stealing your thunder? You could write a tune to it. That's terrible. I'm sorry. Pat. That was a terrible. But he did tell me. Actually, he sent me the link too. And once I saw the thumbnail, oh right, that one. Ozzy is saying if you apply for a gun citing self-defense, I assume he meant gun permit, citing self-defense, you'll be denied and then subject to a background search to find out what you're up to. That doesn't sound right. You can't legislate morality or accountability. Nightwish has a song called Kinslayer about, I assume, Columbine. Ladies and gentlemen, the mandatory carry was already well on the way when Obama was elected. So it really wouldn't have mattered when his presidency came along. You know what? I'm going to let you all in on the secret again. How mandatory carry came to be. Obama was talking about gun control. He wanted to push this assault weapons ban. He, I assume, thought he had the votes to get it done. And I turned to a Facebook page, Repeal and Replace the Second Amendment. I walked in their doors. I said, okay, make the case that we should do this. And all I got was excuses and dodges about bodies and assault weapons, which when I was in high school, when I was in college, I understood that there's a difference between a semi-automatic rifle and an automatic rifle. I admit I did not have the language to understand the term assault weapon or even assault rifle yet. I didn't even realize until 2003 that there was an AR-15 and an M16, and that they were actually two separate animals, right? Both a type of horse, but one's a Clydesdale and one's a Mustang. They're not the same animal. And if you try to breed them together, you get this really deformed thing that you should be ashamed of having allowed to exist. Or you get this like super big, beefy, strong horse that can actually run. One or the other. I don't know which. Okay, guys, let's kind of get off of the Obama thing for a moment, right? So anyway, I walk into this page's doors and I say, okay, make the case. And all I'm getting is excuses and cop-outs. It was bad. It was ugly bad. Right? At one point, it got to this histrionics. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the way a Facebook page works, it's a corporation. All right. Everything on that page is in the name of mandatory carry, Pod Home, Shell Oil Company. Nothing will actually show the person who wrote this, right? Unless they sign it, unless they put something in it that says this post by Shell Oil Company is by the company president, Mr. Shell himself. Right? And even then, you can't verify it. You Warsaw Patriot, cannot independently verify that, yes, Mr. Shell actually did write that and post it. And chances are he didn't, but that's not the point here. As I walked in, writer's voice is a thing, right? A writer everybody writes with a certain style that is uniquely, more or less, uniquely you, unless you are literally a committee writer. And this one had a writer's voice. You can tell some things by a writer's voice. Women write a specific style. Men write a specific style. Black people write a specific style. White people write a specific style. Mentally ill people, we write a very specific style no matter what, right? All mentally ill people, we look very, very similar. This writer's voice was woman. I'm telling you, this was a woman that wrote that. All I'm seeing is boilerplate horse shit. Excuse me. That all I'm seeing is your NRA NRA written boilerplate horse shit. About a year ago, I actually looked up the term boilerplate just to see what does that really mean. I know what it means. Where does it come from? A couple days later, well, first of all, I replied right then and there. You know what? You're right. Had the founders foreseen the future, they would have written a very different Second Amendment. The duty to keep and bear arms shall be enforced. Now, give me a couple days, and I might actually be able to look up that original reply, that original post. Okay, I know. Well, I know I have before. I sent it to a couple people. Nobody in the chat right now, so don't bother asking them. A couple people with channels much bigger than mine to say, okay, Ozzy, because Ozzy doesn't have a channel. Okay, Mr. Ozzy, this is me. This is actually me, and I can prove it. They never responded, so I assume they don't give a shit. Ironically enough, one of them is on my friends list on Facebook as a person, but he doesn't listen to me as a person. He doesn't listen to me as mandatory carry, but he thinks I'm a lot of fun. No, elder things that should not be do not have a voice. Okay, I want to address something. Assault weapon has a definition. Detachable magazine fed and or... Fuck! Let me try that again. Detachable magazine fed burst and or automatic fire capable. Such as the M16, the AK-47, the BAR, the Shell Show, which, by the way, was not the worst machine gun ever. The Pancor Jackhammer, of which there are no surviving examples. There's one prototype and two that were destruction tested by the Army, and none since then. The FN-FAL, the MOS 42? I believe it's the MOS 42, a 45 caliber submachine gun with a very unusual safety feature. You could fold the magazine forward against the barrel, and it couldn't feed into the gun. So if you accidentally dropped the bolt, because it was an open bolt design, it would slam shut on an empty barrel. And then, so what? You're a dumbass, and you're doing push-ups for the rest of the day. As opposed to machine gun, by the way, which is any continuous fed capable firearm up to and including that ridiculous, I don't know, I know why they did it. The same company that makes the Fight Light, MCX, makes a lever action AR-15 lower thing. So they took their belt-fed AR-15 upper and one of their lever action lowers and put them together. Yes, that's a machine gun. Continuous feed capability. Now, it does not matter what the caliber is. It does not matter what the configuration is. A Glock with that selector switch, aftermarket selector switch in the back. Yeah, that's an assault weapon. It's a machine pistol. or machine gun pistol. Pistol? Something like that, as the Germans who invented the damn thing with the artillery Mauser broom handle pistol called it. Assault rifle. Well, basically either it's a submachine gun, a machine pistol, or an assault rifle, or it's some sort of fucking autocannon. And if you think you're going to hump a 25 millimeter detachable magazine fed automatic rifle around, you know what? For the grace of God, go and do it and prove me wrong. I'd love to see that video. Oh, wow. Okay, so Squatch, that's too much information, please. What did I miss? Apparently something's wrong with Sam. Okay, well, something has been removed somehow. Because Ozzy's saying, sorry, Sam. Oh, okay. Ozzy's just fucking with Sam. They can get away with that. Caucasian Sasquatch wants to equip midgets with Uzis and tiny planes. I want to fund that. And apparently he wants itty-bitty boats and submarines. Is it bad that he wants to do it, or that I want to fund it? Let me know in the comments. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We don't need to spam the comments. Something with the shit post. I'll do it anyway, so fuck you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please, for God's sakes, first of all, don't dox people. You'll lose respect. You'll lose a lot of trust. Like, I won't go back to Twitter now, even though I'm theoretically eligible, because I can't trust them. You can't trust Twitter at all over the libs of TikTok thing. All by itself, that one thing is how Twitter lost any trust anybody could ever have in them. Right? Imagine if it had been medical information that they'd released. I mean, you all know I have medical issues. I have severe PTSD. Okay, I have moderate PTSD plus slightly above moderate Tourette's that loves to play together and cause me all kinds of hell. Put those two together, oh Jesus Christ. Papa Carey, when I go to see him about once a month, we'll be out at a restaurant and he will see me crunch up like this, right? My head gets really red. He waits for it to pass and he'll actually say, was it Tourette's or the PTSD? About 60, 40, 40, 60, 75, 25. No, that was all the Tourette's. Don't worry about that one. Right? Don't dox people. Just don't fucking do it. You know what? I'm going to say something else. Don't even do it in private unless people's lives are in jeopardy. Nobody can trust you if you do that sort of thing. Squatch, Actually, I think Squatch knows the most about this particular issue of everybody in the chat. Trust is a real fucking word with me. If you lose it, you're dead to me. Right? Oh. Fuck. No, Sam, you're a shit poster. You forget, I've seen your face, bud. That's about as close to doxing him as I can come, folks. Don't worry. And no, you have whole volumes, dude. Yeah. All right. We have been going for about an hour now, so don't dox people. And don't dismiss Gavin's threat just because it's a very tall task. All right? It is. 34 states is a big hurdle to get over. It'll take them about 10 years to do it. There it is. I just said it. He'll move people around for 10 years to get the borderline states to pass it. You all would be very surprised. Gun rights is not as big a thing in Texas as people think it is. It's a big thing, but it's a recent thing, and it can be reversed pretty easily. Yeah. Fucking hate you, Squatch. Folks, I officially hate Squatch. I'm going to take his wrench away. Okay, Ozzy says the Supreme Court will need a turnover. Not applicable. The Supreme Court cannot rule on the validity of an amendment or on the Constitution itself. If this amendment passes, it's done. Supreme Court has no say in the matter. It's done. And no, Ozzy did not say it can't or won't or can't happen. He didn't even imply it. So I hope that's clear to everybody. Stop laughing, asshole. All right. Moving on. Okay. Let me check my notes, which is also known as my edit button and description. Okay. That's good. Means we might be able to wrap up in an hour and a half rather than 2 hours, which would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay. Shit on a stick. You know, one of these days you think I would remember to have everything out and ready beforehand. Let me see. Okay, this is the right one. I talk about Get Home Bag because I am obsessed with you getting home. All right, I don't talk about bug out bags. There's a million other people that do that so much better than I can. Right? That, and I don't believe in bug out bags. I don't. You can't get very far without a vehicle, so have a bug out car. This big ass packet here. Okay. Is by a company that you would excuse me, You would know that them. They are the red backpack 1 and 3, and sometimes 5 days survival packs. All right. You can find them usually at Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. Can't remember the other one. You might maybe be able to find a link if you look through my channel carefully. You also find some interesting clothes there. We love you, Susan. You cunt. Okay, Squatch, we're not going to say that on YouTube. Even a bicycle is better than trying to walk. The reason I don't believe in bug-out bags is you can never carry enough water to get anywhere. Or at least not in any real sense of the word. This thing here, it's like 90% display, right? If I were to bug out, I would put this in my car and then drive as far as I can. Even though Papa Carries is only about a 3-day march, I know I'm probably not going to make it because I can't carry 3 days worth of water. I would have to find water along the way or have something to carry it in that isn't going to slow me down. I have a cart to put a tank of water in, but it slows me down. I'll never make it. Not going to happen. Yeah, Squatch, please do that. But not on an open channel. Just email it or Discord or something. Actually, Squatch, I really do need to talk to you. And not on Discord and not on Gmail and not any of those other things. I need somewhere much more secure. Okay. So anyway, getting home is the most important thing to start off with. You can have 100 of these at home, but if you don't have something with you, you're fucked. Now, I actually have 5 of these. Plus, I'm getting some more because I'm going to send them to my kids. That's great. This is 2,400 calories. I think they meant for this to be a one day. Well, it was a one man, 1 day pack. So yeah, they think 2,400 calories is enough for one man for 1 day. You don't need this big ass brick. Right? Holy shit. I've seen Bibles not this big. All right. Not quite this heavy either. They also have a bar which is only about this big. You don't actually need that though. Anything you can pick up along the way. Ghost Tactical was talking about having candy in your bug out bag. Okay, great. And then he said his favorite are gummy bears. When he said that the first time, in my head, I started singing the Haribo song because I thought it was so incredible. Like, uh, and for those of you that have seen Ghost, you know it's no little boy, right? This is a big guy. He can take care of himself and you. And ask me how I know he could beat the crap out of me. Um, Not a word, Fix. Not a word. Um, and here he is talking about gummy bears being his favorite. And so, of course, it's not going to be Haribo. It's going to be something, you know, appropriate for adults, right? Well, a couple of months later, he actually says he keeps a bag of Haribos in his bag. Now, Ghost, if you're watching, this is not making fun of you, okay? But I thought it was just incredible. This big, tough guy carries Haribos. I thought it would be, the more mature, sophisticated version. No, he has Haribos, and now I just loved it. I'm going to catch up with this chat real quick. That is true. Ozzy says 2,400, a lot of calories, but in extreme conditions and hard working, I mean, you could be taking in 4,000 calories, but if you're working 12 hours, digging trenches, a foot a minute, 3,000 calories, you're going to lose weight. Okay. Okay. Ozzy says, avoid the sugar-free candy. You won't be traveling anywhere after those. My thing is licorice and cinnamon bears. I like taking one red and one black licorice and putting them together. I love cinnamon bears, which, by the way, are a kind of gummy bear. So they're cinnamon rather than fruit flavored. Anything to keep you going. The idea is you really do only have to make it through one night. You can't live on candy alone. You will not make it. Flag on the play. Right now, you all should really feel bad for Apple because she's got to deal with the aftermath of this later. If it is a legitimate survival situation, not one you made yourself, and I'm talking to you, BLM. I am actually talking to you. The survival situations that you guys get caught up in, you created that shit yourself. Fuck you. If it's a legitimate survival situation and it's steal a couple of hot dogs and a bag of candy and a couple of bottles of water, okay, fine. Do that. Do the thing. Do what you have to make it through. Back in the 60s when disaster movies were all the thing, there was one about an earthquake. Can't remember where it was, but there was one of the central characters was a National Guardsman, actually, who went a little off the rail and thought he'd become some sort of petty local dictator or something. Not Ernest Borgnine, god damn it. Anyway, and he and a local cop had a very unpleasant discussion. There's a scene in that film where a diner has been wrecked in the earthquake, and there's this woman She goes in and she steals half a dozen donuts or 3 or 4 donuts, whatever. Now, the way I remember that scene is she's standing there stealing the donuts because she's starving. She hasn't eaten in 12 hours. So open cash register with just like $1,000 is what it looked like. She looks down at that, and you can see she's tempted to take the money. She takes the donuts, she walks out, and she runs right into the soldier who thinks he's the new local dictator who's been running afoul of the local cop who doesn't like him very much. She left the money alone. Leave the money alone. Leave the cigarettes alone. Leave the alcohol alone. Right? The rest of it, if it's take it or die, you may have to answer for it later. Like 99% probability you were caught on camera doing it. Right? They know you did it. Answer for it later. You cannot be judged by 12 if you're being carried by 6, but I goddamn guarantee you that if you take the alcohol or the cigarettes, you're fucked. You don't need those. Those are not survival. If you smoke, which by the way I do, have a couple spare packs of cigarettes, just in case you have to run in a hurry. Have a couple spare packs of cigarettes. Right? I buy a carton at a time about every week. Right? Wednesday or Thursday, and I smoke a pack a day. Every month or so, I can skip a week. And I've always got spares. Oh, okay. All right, so Ozzy does not like sugar-free candy. Clearly. I have never had that problem. Little bit jealous. A little bit. Not a lot. And Warsaw Patriot has brought up an interesting question. Carrie, mind if we chat after this? I'm going to let you all in on a little bit of a secret. All right. Right now, I'm actually waiting for Caucasian Sasquatch to show up because he's got a link to the chat to the stream. I need to talk to him in absolute private, like all y'all go fuck yourselves. Him and 2 other people who they don't have the link. Squatch does. That should take me maybe 15 minutes. So when the stream ends, plus about 15 minutes, you'll notice that there's a pinned chat message. That is my Discord. I will be there. Like I said, give me about 15 minutes. Okay. Ozzy is clarifying something. There was a specific sugar-free gummy that was recalled. Okay. Well, yeah, don't use recalled products. That's a bad thing. Damn. All right. Yeah, recalled products are bad. Just take them back and get your money back. They were recalled for a reason. I know, what was it, about 2018, I think it was, all romaine lettuce on the West Coast was recalled. Was it romaine lettuce? I think it was romaine lettuce. It was recalled because of an E. coli outbreak. Give me a second. There we go. Takes care of that. Apparently, Samuel wants to become Ghost Tactical. Hey, I know he's hiring for something. Maybe you hit him up. All right. Guess who just arrived? All right, folks. I'm going to start wrapping this up now early because me and Squatch have some things we need to clarify. No, I don't, but that's a good option. Thank you, Samuel. It was romaine and later iceberg lettuce. So I was mostly remembering it correctly. Checking the private chat. Oh, yeah. Besides the morality, doxing is illegal. So don't do it. And that means giving out personal information of other people. It's bad enough if you do it to yourself. Don't do it to other people. Do not imagine for a second that Gavin doesn't have the billions of dollars of Iranian oil money to make the 28th Amendment happen, because he probably already has it in hand. Yes, I said it. All right. No, I'm never, ever going to let that go until, we commence the irradiated Sea of Iran. And these big bricks are great. They're way too much for just an overnight trip. Save this for your bug out car. Right? Get the little ones. They're only like $15. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. With one quick thing. Shit. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. One of these days I will be a professional. Fuck you, Microsoft. Had the founders foreseen the future, they would have written a very different Second Amendment. A well-protected public being necessary to the security of a free state, the duty of the people to keep and bear arms shall be enforced. Keep fighting and keep calm and mandatory carry on. By the way, sapiens. All right, we're going to go ahead and end it.